Okay, so we can go ahead and get started, Melanie?
Okay. Oh,
Okay.
I start first?
No, we'll just let Sarah go live first, and then we'll come back and I'll say hi to everyone, and then I'll introduce you for the land acknowledgement.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Sarah.
You're good to go.
Okay. Welcome to the Brentwood Hall Board. And first, we're going to start with Melanie is going to read our land acknowledgement.
Okay. We are meeting here today on the traditional territory of the Tihonetati Wendat Haudenosaunee and Anishinaabe, which is now the home of diverse First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples. We acknowledge the indigenous peoples who cared for Turtle Island from before the arrival of settler peoples to this day. We also acknowledge that Clearview Township is situated on land covered by Treaty 18 with the Anishinaabe. We are committed to moving forward in the spirit of truth, reconciliation, and respect. I just want to apologize for how I pronounced those. I'm very sorry if I mispronounced.
That was excellent, Melanie. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we'll move to our approval of agenda. Recommendation be resolved, the Brentwood Hall Board hereby approved agenda dated April 20th, 2022 is presented. Mover and seconder.
I'll move.
Anything else we want to add to the agenda before we ask? No? All right, approved. Disclosure, disqualifying interest and general nature thereof, anyone? Oh, Melanie?
Oh, sorry,
Melanie.
nope.
Oh, your hand was froze, sorry.
It's okay. You know how these old time little towns have internet?
I know. We'll have to work on that township for that.
Yes, I think so.
Approval of previous minutes. Has everyone had a chance to read the minutes from the last meeting, or was there anything came out of that somebody wanted to discuss still? No? Okay. So recommendation be resolved that the Brentwood Hall Board hereby approve the meeting minutes dated March 16th, 2022 as presented. Can I move her in seconder? Melanie and Len, and all in favor? Carried. Business arising from the minutes, the AODA renovations update. So as I'm not sure whether everybody realizes it, but council did approve all the renovations for the small halls. They are going to do evening this year as well as Sunnydale Township. And then next year we Brentwood and Dunturin. And then 2024 will be Nottawa and Dunedin. So that's great news. I mean, it's not a cheap venture, but there is money going into a reserve each year, which will hopefully help pay the payments over the years. And that's sort of the way I'm sure Council Neighbors can update us a little more, but I'm sure each year they'll add a little more to that, I guess, reserve payment to always continue putting more money into it to pay the bills over the 30 years. Council Neighbors, give us an update.
Yeah. Evening in Sunnydale Corners is being done this year, and Terry's going to start getting a hold of the chairs and start working out MOUs with the chairs on all the new processes and how they're going to run it and how much each hall is going to contribute to help pay off the debt. The main thing for the halls is all the fundraising is going towards operations of the halls. So once we set up a meeting with Terry, then we'll know how much we're going to be setting aside for renovation projects.
I have a question.
Sure.
I take it will be different for every hall, right? Or will the percentage be the same for every hall?
The PCR group is going to be meeting with the chairs and work that out amongst themselves. But the township is going to go ahead with the renovations,
regardless?
regardless of what comes out from the hall board meetings.
Okay.
Is there
Len,
any
go
way
ahead.
we can check out who's putting tenders in to make sure that we get a local contractor?
Not really. We're
So we're gonna-
hoping that
Go ahead, Johnny.
we're
So the
hoping
town-
that we can get local contractors, but when the tenders go out, the tenders go out. We may get one guy tendering all 6 halls. We may have different companies doing every hall.
So, and I'll just add to that, Len, just so you know, over the years, like even when I was mayor, actually, it's a hard process putting it out, especially because the dollar amount is very large. And a lot of the smaller local companies don't get into that kind of business at all. Not that they can't or don't want to, it's just the idea that it's a lot of work tendering that process. So that's why you always see bigger companies from outside of our Clearview Township, whether it be Toronto or wherever else. Same as when the library was built, they received like 6 different tenders. There was one local actually from Collingwood, but he was actually probably the highest out of all of them. So when it comes down to accepting them, it all goes by scoring, and you score the whole tender as to price, delivery time, schedule time, and so on. And that's just, it's a fair market value of doing it. And I think that's the hard part, is it's not always to a local group.
Okay,
But-
I just want to make.
It will be fair.
Okay, I just
Go
want to
ahead.
make sure that like, I know with council, people want to be aware that we're doing the due diligence to get a
Right.
local company to do the renovations. Because as soon as you
Yeah.
get from outside, there's no employment from local people.
Yep.
Mhm.
No, I agree. And I think that's the biggest thing. It has to be upfront. And maybe what we'll do is we'll just watch that as it comes out for tender. And if we know local companies, we'll push it to them. The idea is that they have to want to put that tender in, right? So that's where it becomes a hardship for most smaller companies. They just don't have the qualifications, or they don't have the manpower to actually tender the process. So. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Is that sound right, Councilor Ramers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're hoping we'll get some locals tendering it, but
Mhm.
tendering process is tendering process. It goes out to almost anybody.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing Len's trying to make sure is when it
Yeah.
goes out, I guess that even we're made aware that it's going out. And if we know people, we can forward it on to them and everything else and make sure they're aware that it's going out. Because sometimes it just gets lost in the mail somewhere, so. So just so we come back to that, so actually, Councilor Lamers, you said the percentage for the capital isn't there. It's just, you're supposed to be fundraising to create your operational. And I think maybe from a perspective of the hall chair, and I think I've spoke to it before, is the fact that that's all we do is fundraise to keep our operational going. And I think that has always been a priority for most halls since we didn't have a lot of support from the council. So maybe just keep that message in mind whenever you're in discussions as well, that, we do fundraise all the time, and we always fundraise for our operational, because that's how we always pay our bills going forward. But not necessarily the capital. That's a lot bigger, and that's just because of time has passed where we haven't been supported in that kind of concept of capital before. So this is a whole new ballgame for us, I think.
Yeah, so a lot of the halls were in favor of this fundraising for operations and
Yeah.
not capital.
Right. And I would agree. I think the idea is that, it's not like we're going to build up our bank accounts and spend it going away to Jamaica or something like that. The idea is that we're spending it on the halls, always improving or whatever. Same as, and I think we shared the plans with everyone on our hall board, but the idea of commercial kitchen, there's always going to be upgrades and everything else we're going to need to do there. The idea is even events, we'll be able to do a lot more cooler events and everything else. So I think there's some good things coming for sure by 2023 for us. Actually, Council Lamers, maybe one more question is, do they have a timeline in 2023? Like, especially now that we're, coming up to the first quarter of 2022, these other two halls haven't started, of course, and tendering is 90 days usually for the tender process. And then, of course, construction time. So will it start first thing in 2023, do you know, or will it just be sort of lagged once the other ones are done?
It probably once the other ones are done. They're working on the draft plans now, and the first two are going to be finished shortly, and then they'll be going out to tender, and then the architect is going to start on the next two, so it's a rolling process. Right. As soon as one is getting close to the end, the drawings are going to be finished for the next two, that they can go out to tender right away and keep things moving.
There's going to be a tender for every two halls?
Every hall.
Oh, okay.
So there might, if we waited for every two halls, if they're 6 months a hall, we're a year before we get the first two done. But if there's two separate tenders, there may be two different contracts, so they can be done simultaneously.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay.
And what is the? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Melanie.
When's the estimated time for? Okay, we'll use the evening. When is the estimated time for that to start?
We won't know until we get the official draft plans in, and then it'll go out to tender. So we're hoping that they will get started by October, November. So they'll be finished by spring. And then by that time, the other draft plans will be finished and the tenders will be out. We'll be able to start building for construction right away.
And Melanie, just so you know, like the tender process is 90 days. So they have to sit out to the market for 9 days. And Len, it comes back to your question. Obviously, if they're going to be all individual, it does give a great advantage to smaller companies locally to bid on them for sure. It's not like it's all of them together, which would be, the $10 million process, but.
Okay.
Well, that's good then.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else to add to that, Council Lamers?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. Perfect.
Can I ask one more
Any other
question?
questions? Sorry, go ahead, Melanie.
So, okay, hypothetically, let's say when Evening and Sunnydale Corners is going and they're getting near the end of their projects, could we start construction on the Brentwood and the other one? So there could possibly
as
be
soon
four.
As soon as the drawings are finished.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? Okay, then we can start. So we could possibly have 4 halls being renovated roughly. Like while one's finishing, we could start the next 2?
There's a possibility of that, not likely. By the time they get the draft drawings done and the process and the 90-day period for tenders.
Okay.
And then construction timeline too. So, because even though the tender may be approved after 90 days, doesn't mean the construction company can start it.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, okay.
Because so many construction companies are so busy that it will probably be delayed for sure. So, okay, that's perfect. Thank you for the update, Councilor Lamers. Any other questions? Janine, we didn't hear from you. Are you still here?
I'm still here.
Okay.
You look like you're in bed.
I'm hiding upstairs from my children. Don't tell them.
Oh, yeah.
But no, Melanie, it all depends. Like the 90 days is a constraint. Like it's a hard timeline, but the people who bid on them say, and each bid will be different. If I'm going to charge you this much money, I can start at this time. It's going to take me this long to do it. And each of those variables will be different. So if the cheapest person can't start until much later than the second most expensive person, but they can do it in a shorter time, those are all variables that Burnside
Okay.
will take into account when determining who to select as the winner of the bid.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Perfect.
I learned something new tonight.
There you go.
And they'll look at things like reputation as well. Like if places don't have a good reputation for, say, paying their contractors on time, their subcontractors on time, things like that also come into account.
Oh, wow. Well, there's a
All
lot.
part of the scoring process. Yeah.
There's a lot going into the process and going through all the tenders and looking at them. It's not an easy task.
Not by
For
the
sure.
sounds of it.
We'll move on to Small Halls Festival update. So actually, we do need to meet and decide if we're going to do a special event sometime this year before the fall. Now, actually, I wanted to set up that text message thing, but Melanie, for some reason, your number wasn't, I didn't write down the right one. So maybe just tell me again. Or actually, do you have my number, Melanie?
Probably. I think I do. Or I'll give it to you after the
Or I'll
meeting.
leave it. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's what I was just going to say, was give it to me after and I'll set up that text message, and then
Okay.
we can try and set a time to maybe meet at the hall and chat about things.
Yeah, you
That
can
make
bring us.
sense?
Yep.
Something, some snacky.
Yep, that's on you, Chris.
Okay. There we go. All right, we'll move on to rental and facility update. We've got a few rentals set up for the summer already, for sure. And actually, Len did go down and he helped clean up the hall. And I think Len actually did the outside windows, if I'm correct. Is that correct, Len?
I have an issue with that. The screens on the outside, so I have to take the inside windows out to clean the outside. So because the screen.
Actually, I think those windows tilt inwards too, don't they?
Okay, I gotta take a look at it. Yeah, I went to do
Yeah,
the
I
outside,
can't-
but it was a little cold when as soon as I squeegeed one, it froze. So it was a little bit cold. So I'll it's warming up this week. I'll get to it this week and
Okay.
make sure that they're clean.
Well, we certainly wouldn't expect you to take your hair dryer down with you to blow dry them.
Yeah, like I need a hair dryer.
Yeah. No, that's perfect.
Never
And
know.
Len and I, we just kept sweeping up flies, and then as we swept them up, there was more flies. So we're not sure where they come from, but there was a lot of flies. But otherwise, the hall is pretty clean. I did have a plumber in last week. He's got to fix the urinal because it keeps on running, and that's mainly because Len touched it. But
Yeah,
it
is he going
it
to?
wouldn't shut off.
Yeah.
We had to shut the water off to get it to shut off, and
Is he
but now
going,
it's working fine.
Is he going to look at the fact that the urinal's connected to the hot water pipe?
Yeah, yeah, he's going to look at all that and put a shut off valve.
Okay.
That's why we're renovating, right?
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah. But we still have to get through the summer. Anyways, otherwise, I don't think there's much else. So we can continue renting it anyways up till the new year, and then we'll have a better idea of where we are with renovations by Christmas, I'm sure.
What kind of rentals, Chris, are you seeing come in?
There's a few. Celebrations of life,
Mhm.
and 2 first birthday parties,
Aw,
and there was one supposed to be for Easter, but then they didn't have it after all. So they were wanting a family get together, but people are still skeptical, I think, and they the one we've had actually was first birthday. So I think there's 3 first birthdays planned. And then, also there's a sewing group that's going to book it once or twice a month, and once on a Saturday, for example, and then once during the week as well. And it's a quilting club, and they came from New Tecumseh, but they're mostly from around this area, and they're going to be doing a quilting club there. So, and then yoga started again Thursday. So Linda has pushed that out, and so if anyone's wanting to push that yoga, make sure you do every Thursday. And I think it's just $5 still, and she donates all the proceeds to us sometime throughout the year. So, any questions about the facility? Actually, maybe the other one would be the yard. So when we do meet about the small halls, we'll just sort of chat about the yard too. And then Janine, you can have a look at it and see whether or not you think the machine would help us or whether we need to look at something different.
Yeah, happy to. With the rain they're anticipating, they're calling for this week. Our machine's on tracks, but it will still compact the ground a bit. We need it to dry up. We need that wind to come back.
Yeah, we need that
Not
wind.
quite as much.
Yeah, but we can sort of get a plan in place and sort of look
Yeah,
at
I'm
the
happy
time
to.
weather. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
it's a
And then go ahead.
frown every time I drive by at that lawn.
I know. Yeah, it looks a little rough, especially even around the fence line.
Yeah.
It needs help. It needs help.
Yeah.
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 You gotta wait a month yet
And
before it's dry enough to do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can't do it with a rake, that's for sure, because it's just too much.
What's the dirt there, Chris? Is it clay like it is down here, or is it more sandy?
No, it's more sandy there for sure. It's good rich soil because that grass, we get it cut once a week and it's usually not enough. We could probably do twice a week there.
I had no idea.
It grows so fast. Yeah.
That's because it's wet there.
Yeah,
Damp.
for sure.
Yeah, it's good topsoil.
Yeah. And I mean, around the time all the trees up, we'll be back to do some more this year, a little bit cleaning, but we'll have to sort of clean that up too, probably. I think that's it for that. So we'll go on to new business. I don't know whether anyone has any new business.
With the rentals,
Rent?
is there any change? With the rentals, is there any changing with the COVID law rules? Are we
Not at this point. Everybody they sort of manage it themselves. We don't give them any kind of regulations in that aspect because there are none for us to pass along from the health unit unless something changes again, like from masking or something indoors, but that would be the only thing that could change at this point.
So there's pretty much no COVID rules at all. So we're good.
That's correct. Yep.
Perfect.
Yep. And I mean, a lot of people have asked that, the number of people we can have in there. And I said, like, as many as you want, it's just how many are comfortable with what numbers, right? So, but we had no issues.
You're only allowed up to capacity.
Pardon?
You're only allowed up to capacity, not as many as you want.
Well, that's true. I guess, but if
That
you go
depends on who's
outside-
counting.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And since none of us are there counting, I guess we'd never know. But if they all stand outside, they're safe. They can go as many as they want. Thanks for that, Johnny, for clarification. I should have known that was coming. All right. No other new business? None? All right.
I have a question.
Certainly.
In order to find a way to stimulate bookings, if we're looking for more, the building is empty otherwise. What typically is done for advertising, Chris? Like, we have lots of new families in the area that have moved here in the last 2 years. What kind of strategy is there? Is there social media or advertising for letting people know that the halls are open and are available to rent?
So that's a great question, Janine. So the township does promote the halls. We're in their little booklet that goes out to all the residents, of course, in Clearview, not necessarily outside of Clearview. We have our Facebook page, which of course we haven't really been posting a lot about reopening and everything yet, but that's a good point. I better get on that. We do have the sign out front as well. So we probably could change that up, as well as, you bring another point together would be the idea that now the township has actually passed the renovation of the hall. We probably should take the preamp design and post it on our social media, as well as maybe even have an open house one day. And so to just, the hall board members are there and people can stop in and sort of see the new design, sort of find out what we're doing on the hall side, if we have any plans for especially small halls or anything like that, just an afternoon. And maybe we do it with a yard sale or something at the same time. I'm not sure. But
when is the dirt coming? Is that being done this year? There's a lot of activity at the hall that day.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I remember filling your trailer. That's how we first met. But I'm not sure. I'm thinking that usually comes around the May 2-4 weekend. So maybe we'll double check and maybe actually I'll ask Sarah if you could double check for us, Sarah or Johnny, one of you to check on the date for that soil to come from the county.
How
Yep,
many
And
loads are they
then
doing?
we can maybe
absolutely.
plan something. Pardon?
Absolutely. I don't believe that we have gotten any formal communication at this time, not that I've heard of yet.
Right.
But I'll reach out to Dan and see if there's anything he's heard.
Put
Yeah,
the
they-
squeeze on. We'd like to get double the loads though.
Okay.
Drop
Yeah,
off
we
point.
haven't, we haven't discussed it at council yet.
Yeah, usually Dan gets it and brings it to council.
Yeah.
But I'll just put a bug in his ear.
All right. Just watch for his document. Just put 3 loads instead of 1 load. And then when he presents it, it just gets passed. But
Or,
we'll need it for all the holes and everything because we're actually, the horticulture has actually asked me to take the old beams and everything out of the garden as well. And we're going to sort of landscape it towards over the grass more than anything else. So hopefully I'll get to that in the next few weeks as well and just rip everything out of there. And then they're going to start from fresh. So
Well, let's
There's
do that with
nothing
my
doing-
machine, Chris.
yeah, that's true. Yep. But that's definitely, there's no renovations happening in the front except for the railing, no matter what. So we're not going to destroy anything in the future. We'd also go ahead and get the garden done this year. So, but we will have some yard work. We will need soil for
Are
as
you in
well.
the garden? Are we doing the
But they're
garden or
probably-
will? Oh, hang on. Are we doing the garden?
Cleveland.
I think we're
Sorry.
losing Chris.
yeah,
Oh, you lost me?
horticulture is,
That's what I thought. Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
All right.
Are
Anything
you,
else?
Are you
Go ahead.
getting a bin to remove those beams and old cedars?
Actually, the dirt will probably keep there. It'll be just some of the bigger plant roots we'll take out and the beams, and I'll probably just take them up to the farm.
Okay.
You have a farm?
All right. Any other questions or comments? Being none. Next meeting is May 18th, 2022 at 7 p.m. And 7 p.m. works for everybody. That's what I wanted to ask. Is that okay with it? Janine, you get home like at 6 or 6:30? Is that too early still or?
No, 7's appropriate.
Okay.
And it's after
Alright.
John's dinner, so we're good.
Yeah. Yeah, we can't move it to 6:30, can we? Because John will be done.
But he was home all day, so he should have had dinner early tonight.
what do you mean I'm home all day?
Your truck was in the driveway all day.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, that was yesterday, Melanie. Oh, see,
I was in a
Everybody's
first
keeping
aid
tabs
course
on
all
you.
day today.
everybody's
you?
keeping tabs on Councillor Lamers.
Yeah,
Yes, I am. I drive by his house every day. That's
I
how
just
I
take the
know.
wife's car.
Yeah, you should.
All right, so I'll do the adjournment recommendation. Be it resolved, the Brentwood Hall Board meeting hereby be adjourned by, or at 7:34 p.m. Can I have a mover and seconder? Melanie and Len, perfect. All right. Well, enjoy the rest of the week. I think tomorrow's supposed to be really sunny. So, oh no, what is it? Sunday? There's supposed to be 23 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's
Get your
rain.
bikinis out, folks.
Yeah. So, and Sarah, thank you again for hosting us.